the show!
And now, your hosts of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Champions of the World, the Wizard CZ, and never wrong, Nick Bull.
Thank you for the applause, and hello one and all, and welcome to a very steamy summer edition of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan for the fan. Of course, I'm your host, never wrong, Nick Bull. So glad you're here joining us on the For Frequency's Sake Network. We're here. We're back for another episode 201. Of course, we got some things to discuss, but before we discuss those things, I'd be remiss if I did not introduce to you my tag team partner. We are co-champs of the said For Frequency's Sake Network. Current reigning and defending, taking on all comers. He is my tag team partner. He is the one. He is the only. He is the Wizard CZ. Wiz, how are you doing?
I'm a little warm. I'll be honest. I'm not going to
That might be the understatement of the year. Yeah, don't mind me. Hey, listen, I would never do this in anyone else's house, but this is my place. We're at the Highview Lounge and Studios. It's summer. Got the doors open, the fan on.
The fabulous Highview Lounge.
The fabulous and superlative Highview Lounge. We're here. We're back. We love doing our reaction shows from here. We got a great setup here. The kind of folks here let us in, let us run the place, use the place, and they're top-notch staff here.
Such a great establishment.
Absolutely. Can't say enough kind words about this place. But I digress. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, CZ. No guests this week. We're obviously going to talk about Night of Champions, which if you're watching live, this is not normal for us to go Saturday afternoons, but these Saturdays pay-per-views, we do this. No guests this week.
No guests today.
Tomorrow we have guests.
Yes, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit, but
before we get to that,
what else is going on before we break down here Night of Champions?
Well, first of all, I have to say that, of course, we are powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, and colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo. Can't forget to name our fantastic sponsors, particularly Lopez Pizza. Head down there and grab yourself a slice. You may see some wrestlers or some podcasters.
Maybe. You never know who you're going to run into down there. So peek your head in down there. They are a proud sponsor of the show, of course. Lopez Pizza, Durham Remodeling, and Ryan Allison Tattoo.
So we'll talk, before we get into what we're here to talk about, and that's Night of Champions. We'll give a little preview. I want to touch on what we're doing tomorrow, and I want to touch on something next week because I'm excited for both of these. So tomorrow,
enough with your touching. I want to touch on this. I want to touch on that. Just keep your hands to yourself.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Don't tell you no lies and keep my hands to myself.
That's right.
All right.
That's right. Keep your hands to yourself.
Well, tomorrow we are talking about a company in Florida, Veteran Pro Wrestling. We're excited to have Pitbull number 3, Christopher Anino, an ECW original, Tommy Cairo, and Eric Stevens, who is the ring announcer for Veterans Pro Wrestling. They are having a show in September for a great cause. I'm excited to talk about that show and to talk about what Veterans Pro's mission is, because it's such a great mission. They're here to help vets of all ages, all sizes and ages, and it's just going to be a lot of fun to talk about.
And on top of that, we want to hear, what they like about wrestling, stuff they watch for in wrestling, shows they watch in wrestling. So just getting wrestling people in here to talk about wrestling things. It's what we do. It's what we kind of hang our hat on here. Episode 200 last week with Hollywood Jeannie Bisson. A big thank you to her for joining us for number 200. That was a great time with her. She's such a busy person, and honored that she was able to come onto our show for our 200th episode.
Yes.
And now with episode 201, more wrestling here going on. This is just great. Wrestling.
And this next week we have a very special guest. I had hoped to get her on for Pride Month. She is a referee on the independent circuit. Her name is Jana Pride. I've been in touch with her for many months. You've seen her on the Joe Monroe Show. among others. If you follow Joe Monroe, one of our good friends, she will be on next Sunday. I'm excited to hear her story and learn about her. Her name, like I said, Jana Pride. That is next Sunday at our normal time, 6:30. So that'll be a lot of fun too. But yeah, we're not here to talk about next week. We're not here to talk about tomorrow. We are here to talk about Night of Champions.
We are in the here and now. I'm trying to get my feed shut off here from said Night of Champions. We're not going to get into the political aspect of what happened this week in the Middle East.
Right.
The fact that this show was able to get everybody over there safely. Obviously, they had SmackDown last night. They have the show today. It looks like everything came off without a hitch. Pray for everybody's safe returns, and hopefully everybody gets back without anybody, getting injured. But once again, that's what, the WWE and Saudi have this thing where they go over there and they've done shows. This isn't the first time, and I guarantee you it's not going to be the last time because it's a sellout and it's good money.
Yes.
When I say good money, it's it's good. It's not, there ain't going to be no, you just got to go the other side of the world to, where some possible, breakouts and skirmishes have been. But besides that, it's a dangerous thing. I hope that everybody gets back safe. I really do. It was an okay show. There was things I liked about it, things I didn't.
Right.
Once again, WWE over the top with their production and what they do, man. It's just it's the difference between them and everyone else, in my opinion, is just how they handle the event, and it's how an event should be handled. It feels like it's a monumental thing. It feels like it's an experience.
It's a big time event every time WWE is.
It absolutely is,
anyway.
And they treat it like that. And they also did this very well in Saudi Arabia today for King and Queen of the Ring. What were your kind of thoughts coming into the show before we kind of break down the matches? What were you excited for? What were you thinking about going into this show?
Well, you mentioned, a lot of money involved in this. And when you mentioned that, I want to talk about my first thought. Is there any way that we could get the Prince of Saudi Arabia to sponsor us as well as WWE? Do you think that could happen?
I'd go over there and do a podcast.
I would too. It'd be interesting.
You just told me 2 days ago you wouldn't get on a plane.
I won't get on. No, I will not get on a plane.
I'll go over and do it.
You go over and do it. I'll stay here because with my main reason for not getting on the plane is my weight.
Am I traveling with WWE?
We can make that happen.
Okay, I'm not traveling over there by myself. I
make that happen.
I want to go along with the whole caravan. So interesting.
Yeah. No,
that would be something cool. We have to give it.
Be.
That'd be something, huh? WWE, if you're listening, we want to try it. Help the little guy out. CZ can come here and do it from the High View if he wants. He could do it from his place, but that'd be on the other side of the world in Riyadh. Oh my goodness, wouldn't that be something?
But no, in all seriousness,
no.
Obviously, the biggest thing I was looking forward to was Punk and Cena. Their match at the 2011 Money in the Bank is one that will always stand out in my memory. It's fantastic. The storytelling, the match itself, and I was really excited that they were getting to do it again on Cena's last run.
Yeah, the fact that these guys have had so much symmetry, they're like 6-6-1 in their matchups. So this was the 14th matchup, and with the stakes so high, and that's John Cena on his 17th reign. That's Punk, finally getting back and getting a title shot, a comeback. After a comeback, he came back to the WWE, then got injured and came back from that. So, he's this is as close as he's gotten. The best possible chance he's had into winning a WWE championship since he's been back.
Yes.
From his time in AEW and his time away from WWE. So yeah, I was excited for that. I felt like something was going to happen at the end of the match, which it did. We'll get down to that in a second. But no, I was excited for that, and I was excited for Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross going in. Just because Karrion Kross, I follow him on social media. I know he's trying to get on shows. He's doing the best he can so they can make time and put him on. This is his first PLE since WrestleMania 40 night 2. Yes,
Yeah.
night 2 in Philly. Yep.
So not quite a year and a half, but closing in on.
it. So, I mean, I know stuff happens, injuries, writing, whatnot. Things may not work. I was excited going into this event to see what that match gave because I knew Sami Zayn is one of the best, the better in-ring workers on the roster. And when it comes to, he can take a good ass kicking.
Yes.
Like when the opponent on Sami is laying in their offense, it's legit. And it looks like it is taking a toll on Sami. He is so good at that. But
he learned from the best in El Generico.
He did. So I was really looking forward to that, even though there was really nothing on the line other than finally seeing Karrion Kross on a PLE.
And, I'll even go out of the way and say that I was looking forward to Solo and Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime a secondary title is defended on a pay-per-view nowadays, it's a big deal because it doesn't happen as often. Like maybe they'll throw one in every other pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't see a lot of the secondary titles defended unless it's on one of the big shows. WrestleMania, SummerSlam.
I think it's another thing that bothered us. We talked about it during the show. It's Night of Champions, and we only had 2 title matches. And give me a quick count. How many active championship titles are there in WWE? I want to say, is it 9?
Yes. Counting the women's tag, it's 9.
Okay.
4 for the men. 10. 4 for the men. 4 for the women. 2 tag titles, so that's 10. And then 11. So 11. The women's tag.
Okay. Yeah, 11 titles in the company, just on the main roster alone we're talking about here, and only 2 titles defended. So I guess if I'm going to knock on Night of Champions, I could say that. Night of not so many championship matches, we could call this.
But really, would you consider the King of the Ring a type of championship match? Championship adjacent. How about that? Championship
adjacent. It's an honor, but it's not a title.
Fair.
For a year, I guess it is. For a year. Essentially, it is winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, because you get a shot at Survivor.
You're getting a title match. You're guaranteeing yourself a title match at the second biggest show of the year, which is SummerSlam coming up. So, does it carry as much weight as a championship belt? No. But you wear it for a year, you're remembered forever, and you get a title shot. I like that that's what happens. I guess we'll start this out. What match let you down the most?
That's really tough. That's a really tough call.
And why is it a tough call?
I thought all the matches were pretty solid.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can.
I kind of asked you a rigged question there.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking to myself, I'm going to ask CZ this because I don't know what match disappointed me.
I mean, if I were to.
I know what you're going to say. Okay,
what am I going to say?
You're going to say the ending of Jade and Asuka was really quick.
Never wrong, Nick Bull. This man is never wrong.
That was not planned, people. That was not planned. If that's what you're going to bring up, I'll give you that. But we also love quick and sudden out of nowhere.
Right.
We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about the Women's Queen of the Ring final. This match went on number 5 of the 6. And this pitted Asuka, who had returned recently
being gone over a year.
Yeah, from an injury rehab, and Jade Cargill. And everybody's kind of knows the white elephant in the room is Jade Cargill, and is she really all she's cracked up to be? I think I can speak for most wrestling fans. That's the question with her. Is she the real deal? This was her chance to be in the spotlight, in the ring with a good worker in Asuka. And I thought there was no doubt going in that Jade Cargill was going to win because Jade Cargill had to win.
Yes.
She needed it more than Asuka.
And to be fair, Asuka is at that status where she doesn't need the acclimate, the flowers for winning the Queen of the Ring. She doesn't need to hold the championship. She has cemented her legacy, and she is that good of a talent and that over of a talent that she doesn't need any of that. But on the other side, if Jade Cargill had lost to Asuka, what's next?
Exactly. Had to have it. So now Jade Cargill has assured herself a women's main event spot at SummerSlam. First two-night SummerSlam at MetLife this year. So one of those matches we know that, of course, Jade Cargill will be in it. I think Jade Cargill, once this ring stuff starts clicking, this is really going to work. The presentation is second to none.
Yes.
Her coming out, for you comic book fans or Marvel fans out there, superhero movie fans, comes out as Marvel's Marvel X-Men Storm. Okay? She fits it to a T.
100%.
Fits it to the T. The hair's bleached, the contacts, the costume,
the ring
gear.
Spot on.
She had a cape that she wore too. It was just spot on. Great presentation. I see why WWE believes in her. I think she did better in this match. This is probably one of her better outings. Since she's been on the roster, I know she hasn't really had a lot of matches, but they are taking their time with her, and I was pretty happy with how she stepped up to the occasion and was able to not only, I'm not talking about winning this match, but was able to go out there and appeared to look well after one viewing.
Yeah,
match was fine. Seemed very fine to me. So, props to Jade Cargill and props to Asuka. Good match. And I'm sure it's not comfortable wrestling in a full body suit like they were in Saudi Arabia. So let's give them some props there. Wrestling in gear they're not normally wrestling in. But no, I thought that match was fine. Yeah, I did. I just thought the abrupt ending was kind of out of nowhere, but that's why we like wrestling. So I gave it, I gave it let it pass, let it slide. I didn't really. It's nice I thought Asuka's shoulder wasn't down on 3. I thought we were going to get that again, like we got Gunther Randy Orton last year. That's what I thought was going to happen. But when I saw the replay, I'm like, okay, no, her shoulders were down. Yeah. So I love. Just a weird. It was weird. It was weird, and it was quick. But other than that, I mean, what? Any thoughts? Do you have any thoughts in this match before we move on to something else here?
I mean, I think Jade is on the cusp of being a star. I think they're doing a good job of putting her in the limelight, but not excessively. They're not cramming her down our throats like some people they've done in the past, Roman Reigns.
Are they treating her like WWE treated Brock Lesnar on his first run in 02?
I can agree with that.
Won the King of the Ring, then went on to go to SummerSlam and challenge The Rock at possibly the greatest SummerSlam of all time, 2002. Yes.
I can see that.
I mean, there's some parallels there. But yes, you're right. They haven't really shoved her, the whole product of Jade Cargill at us yet.
So yeah, we haven't seen all that we have from her, and the sky is the limit in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Before we move on to the next match, shout out to Ricky Lee. Thank you for tuning in. We love you, brother.
Ricky!
Shout out to our friend Jesse from the Rejects podcast. I will be on their show at 1:00 tomorrow.
Of course you will. Is there not a podcast that you're not on?
I'm not on the Chris Van Vliet show. I'm not on Insight.
That might be the only one.
It might be.
During the week, hey, CZ, what do you got going on tonight? I'm doing a podcast. You're just something else, man. You're putting your name out there. You're creating a brand. You're carrying the flag for the Card Subject to Change, which is literally right behind you, hanging on the wall.
Yes.
So
you can even see it in the camera.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate your efforts on these podcasts, but you're on another podcast. Tell us about it.
So the Rejects, I've listened to a couple of their shows. They just a couple of guys, a few guys like us, just love talking wrestling.
And they were guys that you had met when you went up to this event in Minnesota.
No. These are people that I have been interacting with through Facebook.
Oh, okay. Okay.
through another podcasting friend, Crander Q, which is who I did see, and one of the people I did see.
Yes, I knew you met up with Crander because you guys sent me a video.
But yeah, it was they have a good show. We're going to be talking like we are right now about Night of Champions.
Yep.
So I get to talk about it twice. How exciting! But yeah, I'll be stopping by. We'll be talking wrestling. I'm excited to.
Well, our listeners should tune in. Our listeners and viewers should tune in to their show tomorrow to see if CZ copies and pastes and just mails it in.
I might just sleep my way through.
You might just. I mean, you could, and then you could see who was listening and who wasn't.
Exactly.
Good way to gauge it. No, we're just giving you a hard time.
Call me out on my crap if you're watching tomorrow. If I say something today and it's different tomorrow, call me out.
No, that's all right, man. With time comes wisdom. Maybe you'll have added perspective tomorrow after you were able to sleep on the show.
One other thing I want to mention before we move on that I forgot to mention off the top, right over here, up above my shoulder, we have a nice little QR code. That is for the Toys for Tots Fantasy Football League as part of the For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network. Our tribal chief, DJ Jarvis, has challenged our listeners and viewers to join because he doesn't think we can get enough people to have a card subject to change league. I think we can have enough people for 2.
I do too.
And I just heard from DJ. I wanted to confirm the number. It is 12. 12 people to a league.
Ooh.
So maybe a little bit tough. We may get 1.5.
We will have one.
We'll have one for sure.
We will have one.
But highlight that QR code, visit the website, and if you can't get it through the QR code, I can send you the link once it goes live on socials. But yeah, we want as many people. This is for a good cause. It's for the Toys for Tots. Last 2 years, Nick and I have been fortunate enough to join the For Frequency's Sake team at Walmart, picking up toys during the Christmas season to give to children in need.
It's a good cause. Time will tell. If we can fill this league, I think we'll be able to.
I think so.
I like when we're
challenged.
Yeah, we're
I mean, there's no way
we're doubted. We're doubted.
Yeah,
we're doubted.
There's no way we're not going to fill this league, and you know why? Because we are the tag team champions of the world.
We're going to fill it. We're going to fill it, and we hope to see you in it. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We will have some fun with that, and maybe do some league exclusive stuff for you guys out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway,
we digress. What match are we talking about next?
Enough promoting. We're talking about the women. Let's stick with the women.
Okay.
Let's talk about the street fight.
Okay. The Riyadh Boulevard.
The Riyadh Boulevard
street fight.
Wow.
You ever seen one of those?
No, not until today.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
Here's the thing. You had 2 attractive women in leather whipping each other. Rhea was literally whipping Raquel with her studded belt at one point. And then you got a third woman, beautiful woman in leather coming in. I'm not trying to be that guy, but extremely talented women in the ring in Raquel and Rhea. And they went all out. This was a lot of fun. The ending, I was a little surprised they didn't go through the table.
Yeah, I was too, the way they had the table up there.
Raquel had set the table on the corner if you missed it. If you did miss it, go back and watch it. But Riptide off of the table, an avalanche Riptide. Thank you, Michael Cole. Vintage. I'm sorry. But no, this was a fun fight.
Yeah.
And the fact that Roxanne got involved just kind of cements her.
No, this
weaseling into
this Liv Morgan thing is such an unfortunate timing thing. Same thing with Chad Gable and his storyline. I cannot wait for them two to get back because the story with the Judgment Day and Roxanne and Dom is going to simmer, and it's gonna come to a head when Liv comes back.
Yes.
And that's probably after Rumble, maybe the night after the Rumble. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. See.
Obviously, we wish both Chad Gable and Liv Morgan a speedy recovery.
I think Chad will be back, by Thanksgiving, but Liv's not until maybe February. So it's unfortunate, but when those people come back, I can't wait for the payoff of their stories.
I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah, this women's match was fun. Raquel, one of the women on the roster who, can make everything believable with Rhea because she can, give out as much punishment as Rhea can, so, size-wise, Rhea doesn't have much of an advantage or one at all.
Right.
So it's good to see a match like that in the women's division. It's also good to see a women's division match where, they bend the rules and push it a little bit. We've got Evolution coming up on July 5th for the women.
July 13th.
13th. I'm sorry. It wasn't initially July 5th. They moved it to the 13th. I'm sorry. On July 13th. So they're going to have to start booking matches for that. That is your next WWE event because the next major PLE with everybody included is SummerSlam night 1 on August 2nd. So,
Can I just throw this out there?
Sure.
It's nice to see that Raquel is getting some time on her own. She is, to my knowledge, a former NXT Women's Champion. She held the belt briefly.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, since they changed her, since the edict came down a few years ago from VKM, no real names, and they changed her from Raquel Gonzalez to Raquel Rodriguez, she has just been kind of swept under the rug. And I know there's been an injury involved in that time since then, but it feels like she hasn't got as much attention as she could have.
Yeah, she was on the shelf for quite some time. Starting to go on this run with Liv, and as tag champs, they're still the tag champs. I think we're going to see Roxanne stepping in and filling in for her, which is even going to make it better when Liv comes back. I mean, they're going to completely have forgotten about Liv. They're going to be loving Roxanne, and it's going to be hell to pay when Liv Morgan comes back. It's going to be excellent to watch. That's a story. That's a story that's sitting there simmering. I'm giving them every break I can because I know the payoff is going to be great.
Absolutely, it is. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens next. I think it's going to be fantastic. You asked me last, so I'll ask you next. What match do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about the opener with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. The men's King of the Ring final.
Yep.
Be the second year in a row that Randy Orton was in the King of the Ring final. Cody, this trajectory for Cody, what's going to happen when what's going to happen to Cody? Is he going to do this thing that people talk about, the Homelander Cody, where he's the anti-hero and goes heel? He's doing it for himself, not for the fans, but for himself.
But claims to be doing it for the fans.
I think seeds are getting planted. And this match, albeit no cheap shots or anything, good back and forth. There was a story with Cody Rhodes being a part of Legacy once upon a time back in the day, that the faction led by Randy Orton. A lot has changed since then for both guys.
Yes.
Both are completely different wrestlers, completely different, men than what they were. So I was intrigued. We thought this would kind of start the show, and we were talking pre-show before the show kicked off here this afternoon as we record this and go live here. And it was the right call for sure. The crowd into it. Crowd sings both themes. They're into it. I honestly think the crowd might have been leaning more towards Randy Orton in this match.
I think they were.
And that's nothing that Cody did. He did not do anything to incite the fans or anything. I just think the fans kind of fell more in line and felt more for what's up, Memphis? Memphis makes his premiere here on the Card Subject to Change podcast.
Is he our official mascot?
Oh, yeah. He wears the colors true, man. He's here for everyone. The camera never picks him up. And we're powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, and colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo. He's the Wizard CZ. I'm never wrong, Nick Bull. That is Memphis the Boxer. And we're breaking down Night of Champions. That's right. Aren't we, buddy? So, yeah, Cody and Randy, I was excited. So I was excited for John Cena, Randy Orton when we got to see that quote-unquote one last time. I was excited for this because, it's kind of split 50-50 on who the fans are going to root for.
And who's going to win, in my opinion. It could go either way.
It could have went either way. It could have went either way. Figured Cody would probably win.
Yeah.
But if Randy won, I wouldn't have been upset, and I would have been excited to see what way that path would have been, how we would have traversed that. So I loved this match. It was a good opener. Some good, some good stuff in there. Cody setting himself up for he's going to do the Cody Cutter and then getting the RKO.
Yes.
That was kind of a cool moment. I know he exposes himself and made himself prone for it, but still a really cool moment. Just the fact these two pros get in there, go out there and put on a 30-minute match and 25-minute match. And
the teased punt.
Yes, where he hesitated.
Yes.
When was the last time you saw Randy Orton hesitate?
Doesn't happen very often.
In the punt formation.
Doesn't happen very often. Cody was lined up to get his head kicked off, and Randy just couldn't pull the trigger on his buddy.
He thought about it too long. Thought about it way too long.
Yes.
Woo! But no, I really liked this match. Figured Cody would win. I'm not mad about Cody winning. We're getting the Mania rematch.
Yeah, and it seems like that's going to happen in more than just one match.
Oh, hush your mouth.
I hope it doesn't.
Hush your mouth.
I hope it doesn't.
It's probably going to happen, and Jay's probably going to win.
You're fired.
We'll do what we can here. We got this finally proudly hung here in the Highview just this afternoon. Myself meeting the world heavyweight champion, Gunta.
And here's the thing: I don't have an issue with Jay. He's a merch seller. He's got a lot of charisma and a lot of personality. But
you just don't want to piss off Rikishi.
Well, there's that. I mean, I don't want to go. I want him going on a tirade on me for sure.
Well, we'll talk about SummerSlam at a later time.
Yeah.
So much wrestling to happen between now and then, but I really like the Cody Orton match. Tell me what's your takeaway from this? Cody winning the King of the Ring.
I mean, it seems like they're giving Cody everything, and it seems like it's all happening right away. I mean, yeah, sure, he's been back since 2022, since WrestleMania 38, but it definitely feels like Cody is getting the keys to the kingdom, and he's getting the key to the city. The mayor has given him the key to the city as well. All right in a short span.
Are you not happy about that?
No, I'm not. I'm not upset by that at all. It just it feels like everything is coming at him right away. So what happens next?
Well, I don't know because we're not going to have John Cena much longer. Roman Reigns, we don't know how much longer we're going to have him. His contract's less than 3 years.
Yep,
and he's a part-timer, right?
He's been gone since Mania now.
We don't know how much longer we have Randy Orton. We don't know how much longer we have AJ Styles. I mean, we could say this about everybody, but these guys in their careers are winding down. So
yes,
yeah, we got to get ready for that next generation.
And I think they're doing a good job in preparing us with certain aspects. I mean, look at who Seth Rollins has accumulated with Braun Breaker and with
Seth Rollins is going to be a bridge between the two generations.
Yes,
I think a guy that went out there and had great matches all the time. You could go out there. He's put this faction together. There's talk they may add another member. Do you want them to add another member? Because I don't know if I do.
I don't know that I do either. I think it's fine as it is.
I do too. I don't think they need another number. Once upon a time, I always had this thing in my head that factions had to be 4 people. And, maybe that was just because the whole 4 horsemen thing.
That might be.
Maybe it is. I don't know. But I don't mind this faction. I mean, Heyman's not an in-ring performer by any means. But they got 3 badass dudes. And I'm not saying Rollins isn't a badass. He's a badass wrestler, top 5 wrestler probably in the world. Definitely top 2 or 3 in that company.
Right.
Maybe number 1. Who knows?
Let me play devil's advocate, though. If you have Seth Rollins, who is the world champion guy, top tier guy.
Yep.
You have Breaker and Reed, who could potentially be the most lethal tag team in WWE.
Right.
Do we add one more for that secondary title?
Well, I mean, I would say if you're going to add one for the secondary title, They get added with Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker goes into that because he's a former IC champ.
I can agree with that.
So who do you want in that spot? You want them to add somebody. There's talk out there. Is it going to be Ludwig Kaiser?
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
What if Ludwig's at ringside at SummerSlam and helps Rollins and company beat Gunther
That'd be big.
on a cash-in?
That'd be huge.
But is Seth going to cash in on him? I don't know.
Can I throw out, and I have a soft spot for him because I think he's very talented, and he hasn't been treated right. Can we put Austin Theory in the group?
I've heard that name tossed around out there too. It would not bother me. You need he's got youth. I just don't know who they add. Who's it going to be?
Maybe they call up someone from NXT. Maybe like Ethan Page. He drops the North American title and comes up to the main roster on Rollins' group. Not saying that
No. I just don't know. I don't know if I want them to add one.
No, and I can agree. I'm not disagreeing with you, but on the other side of things, look at Evolution. You had 4 in-ring competitors.
I know.
The Horsemen had 4 in-ring competitors, and they had J.J. Dillon at their back, holding the microphone like Paul Heyman is.
Right.
So there's precedence for a 4th in-ring competitor in a faction. And I wouldn't be upset with it, but I don't know, like you, I don't know that I want to see it. It depends on who they pick.
I know at times the Wyatt family, the Bray Wyatt incarnations of it, had 4 when they had Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton join. But besides that, they were a 3-person crew. The Shield was a 3-person crew. I don't know. Is 3 people the new faction thing?
Possibly.
I think it probably has moved to that.
But I mean, look at the Bloodline.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah. I guess a faction. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a faction.
Yeah. No, I know. I guess time will tell. Like I said, it depends on who the person is. If they put a 4th man, a 4th in-ring competitor in that group,
Right.
It depends on who it is.
Where we go next, partner?
Well, we got 2 more matches.
I think so.
So let's talk Sami Zayn.
We got 3 more matches.
No, we've talked about 3. No, we've talked about 4. 2 women. Cody Rhodes. What am I missing?
We've talked about 3.
We talked about the 2 women's matches. We
Mhm.
talked about Cody.
Mm-hmm.
There's the main event. Okay, would you rather talk about Sami first or Solo?
Surprised me.
Well, Solo getting his first singles title is big, in my opinion.
Tell me why.
Because he's kind of been, I feel like he's been floundering. I know he's been the leader of the new bloodline, but I don't think he's found his place. I don't think he's cemented himself on the main roster.
And he's kind of got his own faction now.
Yes.
It's kind of official. Big physical, good story between Solo and Jacob Fatu building to this. It kind of had that feeling that Solo, the same way with Jade Cargill, she needed the match more than Asuka. Fatu needed the match more than Sikoa needed the match more than Fatu.
100%.
Absolutely needed it. Got it. Gets the advantage and wins by getting the advantage by getting a returning Tongaloa and a debuting
name to be determined,
not named on camera or the show, but a Hikuleo.
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude, 6'8".
He is a big dude.
That is Haku's son. He has now pledged his allegiance, it appears, to be with Solo. So now Solo, what does he call this? The new bloodline?
I hope not. Because we've been through the new bloodline.
Well, it's got to have a new name.
Yeah, it's got to have a new name.
But what's it going to be?
That's a great question. I don't know that I have a good answer. I mean,
They're not just gonna call it the bloodline, are they?
I would hope not. We need to stop recycling that.
We
This will be the third incarnation of the bloodline.
And it's not really, I mean, and it's got to be something different.
Yeah, 100%.
Regardless, it's got Solo Sikoa,
JC
Mateo, Tongaloa,
and the yet to be named in WWE
6'8" Hikuleo. Yep, there you go. And then where does Tama Tonga line up with all of this?
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I don't know. I'm sure. I would guess he would go back with Solo when he returns. But you've also got to look on the horizon here. We're only a few months shy of War Games.
I know. That means it's going to be getting colder, CZ. And it's November, man. I don't even want to think about it, but yeah, you're right.
I don't either.
You're right. It's gonna probably go that way. So time will tell. And
Jacob has a few people that he can rely on. He's got Jimmy Uso.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy could bring in Jay.
Mm-hmm.
We could potentially see Roman return.
We could.
And then that question mark on Tama Tonga.
Right. And I don't know the timetable for Tama Tonga's return. I really don't. I don't know off the top of my head. You guys do out there, please chime in. Let us know. We love to interact. And we are live, of course, here from the spacious, palatial Highview Studio Lounge and Studios. I am Never Wrong Nick Bull. He is the Wizard CZ. This is the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan for the fan, breaking down Night of Champions for you.
And of course, our champion sponsors. We are powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Dura Remodeling, and colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo.
Pow. And it's night of 2 champions matches. And we are just wrapping up here talking about Solo and Fatu. Obviously, probably this comes to a head quicker at SummerSlam and then probably finishes off at War Games maybe. But SummerSlam's going to be having 2 nights, so plenty of spots on each show. But you got to know that those spots are going to be very coveted. And there's so many people out right now too, so it's time for people to step up.
Yes.
10 wrestlers out right now with injuries or taking time off to heal. So very interesting things coming on the horizon. We've got one more thing to talk about on Night of Champions.
2 more.
2 more.
Before we hit the main event. Okay. And that's Karrion Kross.
Yes, and Sami Zayn. Yes.
Oh, you mentioned it off the top of the show. WrestleMania 40 was the last time Karrion Kross was on a PLE.
Mm-hmm.
Way too long for him to go between appearances on the big stage.
I would agree.
Karrion Kross is a former 2-time NXT champion, or just 1?
I think he's a 2-time champion.
That's what I thought too.
2-time champion.
Was tremendous in NXT. Knows how to get the crowd behind him. He has done so much in the last couple of months to get his name out there, to make sure he is known. And the merch sales show it. It's about time, and I think this was the right opponent. But as much as I love Sami Zayn, I kind of don't know that this was the right call for Sami to win.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Karrion Kross. He's gotten himself over. The fans are behind him. It just seems like something's missing there. What is it?
I don't know.
Is he lumber around the ring too much? Is he too slow? What is it? Because you get the match after it was Solo and Fatu, and those guys are just going a million miles per hour, and they're big dudes. So I don't know if there's something that he's not 100%. But I want him to succeed. I want him to be on these shows. I hope we see him at SummerSlam. But man, I got a feeling like he's going to be one of these names we see with the next round of cuts.
And that's unfortunate.
It is. But I hope he does it. I want him to be in the WWE.
Yes. That's where he should be.
Yes.
He belongs there. He looks like he belongs there. He feels like he belongs there. You say he lumbers around the ring. I say he's methodical.
Okay.
His wrestling style is methodical.
Okay.
everything he does is with a purpose.
Okay.
And that shows not only in the ring, but that shows with everything he does backstage.
Okay.
You
Oh,
see him lurking in the background
like that.
every once in a while.
You're right. You're right.
You see him interacting with like the AJ Styles, pushing AJ to be more than he is, to get back to the ruthless AJ Styles. You see him taunting Sami Zayn. He's pulling strings behind the scenes.
I didn't have a problem with Sammy winning this or how Sammy won it. Sammy won this match by carrying Cross, undoing it on himself.
Very true.
By his own doing. I did like that wrinkle of it. I would have liked to have seen Karrion Kross win the match. He did not. But the way that he lost was pretty good since he was taunting Sammy and it turned around and blew up right in his face. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is done. He's probably going to ask for one more match, gets one back, and then maybe they're at SummerSlam together. I don't know. I hope they're both on SummerSlam.
I do too.
You know, Sammy wasn't on WrestleMania this year.
Right.
And neither was Cross.
Well, he did make an appearance
I
in
know.
AJ Styles' match, but he didn't have a match.
Correct.
So yeah, he was there, but he wasn't really there.
Correct.
All right, let's get to it. We got one more match to talk about, and it's the most overbooked match of the year, in my opinion, so far.
Oh, wow. More overbooked than Travis Scott breaking Cody's eardrum?
Maybe not.
Probably. Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll let you determine it after we break this down.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
So this was a match in the making. What, 12 years, 10 years? It's been 12 since they last met, I think.
I think so. 11 or 12 years.
I'm so glad that we got to see it in Cena's final run. I love both these guys. They both have done so much for the business in their own rights, in their own ways. And to see the tables kind of turn where Punk is now the person backing the company and Cena is the rebel looking to take the title away.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice dynamic to see that cross. The promos that they've done, the yin and yang promos, have been fantastic. I just don't know that we needed everybody who was there to be there.
You know, everybody's going to kind of poo-poo on the overbooking at the end, but I like how that made the story turn for Punk and Cena to fight them off together. There they were beating the crap out of each other, but Punk knows he's got to fight them off to keep his chance alive.
Right.
Because Rollins did everything but hand the briefcase to the official and have the official ring the bell. That's how close to the cash-in we had.
Yeah.
It got a pop. It was big when it happened. Now how many times are we going to start teasing the cash-in? Are we going to get the Damian Priest again and tease the cash-in 800 times when you've got two of the baddest dudes with you who could go clean house and then you could have your match?
Can we not? Can we not repeat that?
Yeah, let's do it now. I mean, I would have been fine they did it here.
Yeah,
I know people would have thrown a fit because it happened in Saudi. I don't care. I don't. I want it to happen.
What was your favorite moment of this match? Before I tell you mine.
My favorite moment is when Punk goes, he's in there fighting his ass off against Cena. He's worn out. He doesn't know what else to do. And Rollins' music hits. And that's when Punk had to turn and focus his attention on Rollins' group, whatever they're calling themselves. The Vision. I don't know what they're calling themselves.
I don't know that they have a name.
When he went into that mode, he didn't want to, but he had to to protect his chance at the title. There's nothing he hates more than Seth Rollins.
And that was probably my second favorite moment, and it's real close.
What was your first?
Charles Robinson.
Oh, we're gonna have a new meme.
Not only recreating the meme, but getting waylaid and taken out by John Cena just before he hit the ring.
Oh my God! The only way that would have been any better, but it would have not made sense storyline wise if Braun Breaker speared him. But it wouldn't have made sense because Braun would want Seth to have the belt or have the title. So what was the Charles Robinson meme that we're talking about? What was that originally from? Where did that meme originate? Do you know? Because I don't.
think it was on a SmackDown, and I'm not 100%. If you are listening and watching, let us know where it came from if you're 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it was on a SmackDown.
Was it when Rollins cashed in?
No, because Rollins ran down. I don't know if Charles had his. Maybe it was. I don't know. We'll have to do some digging.
We'll do some digging. Don't worry. If you find out, let us know.
Hey, we're not.
I thought it was at a WrestleMania.
And by all means, we have our opinions. We love wrestling, but we're not encyclopedias.
No, I'll
I don't know every single.
try to be at
moment of
times. Try to be at times.
Yeah.
Regardless.
I couldn't name every single moment.
We'll find it 2 minutes after we're off the air.
Exactly.
So. But I was fine. The overbooking at the end was a little much. It's going to probably knock the letter grade down a little bit because of it. Not because the cash-in didn't happen. I was just thinking a lot of stuff happened that maybe didn't have to.
Yeah.
But they're in Saudi, putting on a show. It's like they want to put on a show here or wherever. And now the next event for everyone on the main card is SummerSlam.
Well, with the exception of Saturday night's main event.
Correct. But I don't think that's going to be very many matches.
I don't think so either.
So, a lot of time now between now and then for them to start building stuff and announcing matches. Not sure what they're going to do there. Man, is Cena going to leave SummerSlam champion?
That's tough. I mean, he's facing Cody. We know that now.
Mm-hmm.
What belt does Rollins want more? Does he want that WWE Undisputed Championship, or does he want the belt that he made big?
I don't know.
That he birthed into being prominent.
Right.
I don't know either. Because I think SummerSlam, where whoever walks out with the titles, I think a lot hinges on Seth Rollins. But here's the thing. I'll counter that. I don't know that I want Seth to cash in at SummerSlam if Jade Cargill beats Tiffany and Naomi cashes in on her.
Oh, okay.
I don't want two cash-ins on the same night.
You don't. What if they're on different nights?
I don't want two cash-ins at the same event. How about that?
Okay.
I think I just don't I don't like putting all it feels like they'd be putting all their eggs in one basket to me. And I'm not saying it would be bad. I just personally I would rather see one cash in happen at SummerSlam and then let Seth the way I'd book it, let Seth cash in down the road. Because Jade Cargill is on the road to face Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam. And Naomi with that briefcase is going to be eyeing that match real close. For sure.
Anything else from Night of Champions?
Only letter grades. I'm anxious to hear what you grade this show. I know.
C plus, 78.
Kind of where I was leaning.
C plus.
Torn between B minus and a C plus. It's right on that cusp.
78, 79. I'm going C plus.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
Nothing horrible. Nothing truly great. Just some solid stuff with some overbooking at the end. They're kind of just like, took it away from me. But still a good fun. I mean, I was entertained this afternoon. I had a good time watching it.
Yeah.
Still a fun show to watch and bring to you. And had a good time sitting here doing it. Unconventionally, of course, kind of casual, casual Saturday here at the Highview for the Card Subject to Change podcast. But yeah, I think that just about puts a bow on things for Night of Champions.
It does. And if you've been tuned in, I want to thank you for joining us on our venture through Night of Champions. This is episode 201, Kings, Queens, and Champions. We'll be back tomorrow for episode 202. Wrestling and Heroes is what we're calling it, or Heroes and Wrestling. Let's just throw that graphic up and see what I called it.
Let's go.
It's warm.
I know.
My brain is in the warm. Heroes and Wrestling. We've got Pitbull number 3, Chrisanino. Sorry, I spelled his name wrong. Now I mispronounced his name, Christopher. I'm so sorry. You can give me all the crap you need to tomorrow. Tommy Cairo and Eric Stevens also joining us. Tommy Cairo, an ECW original. And we're talking Eastern Championship Wrestling, not just Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Correct.
Way back. That's tomorrow at our normal time, 6:30. You can find me with Jesse and the crew on the Rejects podcast tomorrow at 1 o'clock. They'll be on Facebook. If you haven't gone over to our YouTube page at CSTC Podcast, give us a subscribe. Trying to boost our numbers. Our entire archive is there. You can find old episodes. We've got a lot of great episodes, a lot of great content. Our 200th episode just last week, if you missed that, with Jeannie Basone, the original Glow Girl Hollywood. Fantastic. Had a great talk with her.
Yes, we did.
And then I said this. I wish we'd gotten this young lady on for Pride Month, but next week, Jana Pride, one of the most talented referees from what I've seen on the independent circuit, next Sunday at 6:30. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up. July is just crammed full of goodness.
Yeah, July 12th might be the biggest wrestling event hit day in the history of wrestling events. I think every promotion that can have an event is having one on July 12th.
Yes.
We're still trying to wrap our heads on how we're going to bring that to you, what we're going to do. But stand assured, we'll have something here for you on the Card Subject to Change podcast, of course. Powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo.
And one last note, don't forget our little QR code right above my hand here. 12 people to a league. We want 11 of you because one of us is going to be the number 12. Hell, we want 22 of you so we can have 2 leagues.
That'd be fun.
Get us all, go to the QR code, sign up. It's for a great cause. Just a donation to Toys for Tots, get you in the league. And let them know let DJ, let the tribal chief know you want to be part of Card and Subject to Change. We will get that together. We want to make sure he knows that we are the best podcast on the For Frequency's Sake podcast network. Am I wrong, my friend?
You're not wrong. Someone had to say it. No. Anyways, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a good time raising money for Toys for Tots, which the For Frequency's Sake sports For Frequency's Sake
podcast
network does a great job with here in last couple years. I think that about puts a bow on episode 201.
It definitely does. We will, like I said, we will be back tomorrow at our normal time. We will also be midweek for the kickout. But until then, I am the Wizard CZ, my tag team partner, never wrong, Nick Bull. This has been Card Subject to Change, and we will see you next time. Go out there, enjoy pro wrestling.
This has been a For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network production. For more great content, subscribe to For Frequency's Sake on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.